Good morning, students. We are starting a new chapter. The chapter name is exchange rate. Exchange rates. So measuring exchange rates, understanding the price of money. So, what is nominal exchange rate? Nominal exchange rate is the price of one currency in terms of another. It is the rate that you see quoted daily. Simple to observe and understand, does not account for inflation differences and directly affects the prices of the exports and the imports. Nominal exchange rate is a day-to-day exchange rate which we can see on the exchange office, and one US dollar, for example, is equals to 20 Mexican pesos, or for example, one Bahraini dinar is equals to how many dollars, you can calculate. Real exchange rate. Real exchange rate measures a currency value by its real purchasing power, adjusting for the price levels like inflation. Adjust the nominal rate for inflation reflects a country's international competitiveness, and real exchange rate has a strong impact on the current account over time, because real exchange rates are accounted for inflation. If US inflation is 2% and Mexico's inflation is 5%, so US goods become relatively cheaper, increasing US competitiveness if the nominal rate is stable. Trade weight exchange rate. So the price of one currency against a weighted average of a basket of other currencies, means your currency with with a comparison of basket of other currency. It gives more accurate and holistic picture of the currency's value. So you are able to compare your currency with other currencies. Weights are based on the importance of each trading partner, and it is used by the economists and the governments for a broader view of competitiveness. Means, for example, UK pounds are compared with the euros, uh, European currencies. Exchange rate systems. How to determine the exchange rates? Exchange rate value is determined in the foreign exchange, like the forex market. The method of determination defines the system. The first method is the demand and supply. Let's demand and supply of currency decides the exchange rate. Okay, so one method is the floating system. In floating system, demand and supply decides the price of the exchange rate, because there is the supply of the currency and the demand of the currency, and this equilibrium point is the exchange rate of the currency. When government intervene or central bank sets the price of the currency, so it is called fixed system. Let's have one example of Pakistan. In Pakistan, due to political issues or political favor, government kept the exchange rate cheaper. How? By keeping the fixed exchange rate system, means they kept foreign reserves in the central bank to keep the fixed exchange rate. Okay, so I will not tell that I would not say that a fixed exchange rate is uh, bad or good, because it depends on the objective of the government. So market for forces operate with a band set by the government like a managed system. Fixed exchange rate system. So the government sets the exchange rate and the central bank maintains it in the form of the foreign reserves. Provides it provides the certainty for the trade and investment because it will give the confidence to the buyer. Central bank buy and sell the currency to maintain the rate, and it requires large foreign exchange reserves in the central bank, as I told you, in the central bank. Example, the UAE dirham is fixed, like pegged to the US dollars, because it was the treaty between UAE and the US dollar, that US dollar UAE dirhams will be pegged with US dollar. So whenever US dollar changes, UAE dirham will be changed. Okay, because uh, the biggest commodity between US and UAE is oil. So that's why it is pegged with dollar. Devaluation in fixed system. Devaluation of currency in fixed system. A government decision to lower the international price of its currency. Okay. So a method in which government decides to lower the price of the currency. Why? To boost the economy. Why they how they can boost the economy? Because when the currency will be lower, so people will see, the rest of the world will see your product prices will very cheap. So as a result, exports will increase. It will boost the economy. So it makes exports cheaper for the foreign buyers, for the rest of the world. It makes imports more expensive. People see inside the country that imported products are becoming expensive, so it helps infant industries to grow. So domestic consumers increase. It also improves the current account balance, but can increase the inflation because it is boosting the economy. So the byproduct is inflation. Revaluation in fixed system. A government decision to raise the international price of its currency. Goal. The goal is to control the inflation or reflect the economic strength or slow down the economy. It makes the imports cheaper for the domestic consumer. They will see the imported products cheaper. So as a result, demand for imports will increase and exports become expensive for the rest of the world. And it reduces the international competitiveness. It may reduce the export competitiveness but can reduce the inflationary pressure on the country. So revaluation and devaluation depends on the state of the economy and the objective of the government. Managed exchange rate. Managed exchange rate means when government intervenes and manage the exchange rate, like a hybrid system where the rate floats but only within the specific band or range. Okay, so combines features of a fixed and floating exchange rate. Central bank intervenes only when the rate hits upper or lower limits, means there is a like it should not, like the there is a band limit of the exchange rate, so it should not increase or decrease. So aims to reduce the excessive volatility while allowing market flexibility. The economic impact. Now let's learn the Marshall-Lerner condition. Marshall-Lerner condition is a condition for the balance of payment when there is a deficit in the current account, when there is a deficit in the current account, so how this can be correct? So there is a condition, Marshall-Lerner condition, through which it can be fixed. So this condition determines if currency devaluation or depreciation. Currency devaluation means currency value is decreasing. So Marshall-Lerner condition says that if currency is depreciating, so it will improve the current account balance, means it will decrease the current account deficit in future. Theoretically, more likely, if the value of the currency is decreasing, so it will decrease the current account deficit in future. It states that a fall in the exchange rate will only reduce the current account deficit, in easy word. For this, there is a condition. What is the Marshall-Lerner condition? That price elasticity, price elasticity of demand of exports plus price elasticity of demand of imports should be greater than 1. So the PD of exports, PD of imports, the sum of these should be greater than 1. So let's have one example, that if exports are elastic, like for example it is 1.2, and the elasticity of imports is also elastic, for example 1, so the sum is 2.2, which is greater than 1. So we can say like it will fix the current account deficit. So it will fix the current account deficit. So Marshall-Lerner condition is met here. But another reason is, for example, if the PED of exports is inelastic, like 0.8, and PED of imports is also inelastic, like 0.2, so it is equal to 1, not greater than 1, so it will remain unchanged. Whereas if both are inelastic, for example 0.3 and 0.2, so it is less than 1, not greater than 1, so it will increase the deficit. It will not fix the deficit. So J-curve effect. In the J-curve effect, we actually see the Marshall-Lerner condition. So J-curve effect shows how the current account balance may worsen in the short run after depreciation. So what we see here, this is the balance of trade, J-curve, and this is 0, this is surplus, and here we have the deficit. Okay, so this is the point of current account deficit. So when currency value is decreasing, so we have a current account deficit, and it shows that as the time passes, during the time lag, current account deficit will become worse, and it will become worse, and then gradually it will come to original position, and it will become like it will be fixed after a time lag, after a certain time. And this point is called the Marshall-Lerner condition, when due to the value of currency, depreciation of currency, balance of trade is fixed, means current account deficit has been fixed. So in short run, import costs rise immediately, but exports volume take time to increase, so demand is inelastic. Long run, as contracts are renegotiated and buyers respond to cheaper exports, so the balance improves if Marshall-Lerner holds, means if value continuously decreasing. So after some time, due to martial law condition, current account deficit will be fixed, but it is a theory. So Uzbekistan provides a real world example of shifting from managed system towards a more flexible floating exchange rate reason to stimulate the economic growth, because from managed or pegged or from managed fixed exchange rate they move to more flexible and floating exchange rate, means demand and supply will decide the exchange rate. Why? To stimulate the economic growth and to improve the living standards for its citizens, or to reduce the economic pressure from high volume of imports. Key takeaways, you can also read the book, and I have one question for you, I will share later.